Fine.
So first of all, Nick, how do you do it? How do you live stream?
Well, I mean, I think like everybody else, it's been a really steep learning curve. Um, we began with worship and took it from there, and we used one of these. It's just, a smartphone. Many of us have got them. Once you get one of those, and then you get a little kind of tripod holder like that, stick it on a tripod like that. Then you've got a stable thing, and then you can get a microphone. This is just a little plug-in microphone that I got from Amazon, about 15 quid. And you're good to go. And then we set that up the first Sunday we were in lockdown. I think it was it Palm Sunday? It's a long time ago. Set that up and used that. And we used the mobile data off my phone. And we then went from there. But at a basic level, that's all the tech that you need. And anything beyond that is a kind of development of that. So I can talk about some of the more complex things we did, but you can go straight live to Facebook on that, and you can practice with that on your own Facebook account. You can press the live button, and you can even keep it so that it's just you that can see it. So you can have just a practice sessions without other people seeing it. And once you're comfortable with what you're doing, you can try your first public one.
And so tell me, why did you decide to, did you mostly live stream on Facebook?
Yes, I think we felt that that was probably the platform that most of our congregation would be familiar with. And we then took the step of using Zoom as the video conferencing facility to assemble those who are leading the service. And then from Zoom, you can then broadcast to Facebook Live. And that's another step in development. And we then had one person who was our producer, who was just clicking the windows to check that the person leading at that point was on the main window and was setting up, sending that to Facebook. And then from the Facebook Live videos, we then embedded those videos back into the websites of the churches so that those who weren't on Facebook or couldn't tune in at that particular time could watch it at another time without having to be a member of Facebook. I think one of the big choices.
So you've just done. So you've plugged Zoom into Facebook using that functionality. Have you got a pro Zoom account?
Yes, we did.
Right. And did you? And that's a nice, simple solution. I think that's a good solution for many. But I mean, I think the concerns around Facebook are people who don't have the account. So you were able to embed the video after it was created on Facebook.
After it was created, I think there is a possibility of setting up a live page on your website, but I never quite got to the bottom.
Yeah.
How you do that.
And do you? Have you tested it with people without a Facebook account being able to watch the video or through your website?
Yeah. So if you have a look at our website, www.pipandgyms.org.uk, you will see we've got the latest videos. So we've used that for morning prayer. So we upload morning prayer each morning. We have about where are we at? We're about sort of 30 to 40 joining for morning prayer now. We did get up to 60 in the depths of lockdown. And people put in prayer requests on the comments. So, you've got one of the key accessories there for live streaming. So yeah. You need a pet, or you need to be Zoom bombed by a pet, a child, or a cuddly toy. One of the key things, obviously. Yes, but we have used Facebook Live for morning prayer each morning at 9 a.m. And then for the Sunday services. And what we did was we had an order of service that we would put onto our website that people could download beforehand. We also emailed it out the week before, so people have a paper order of service that they've downloaded at home, and then they can join in.
Cool, thank you. And so, I mean, 30 to 60 people joining you for morning prayers are really healthy. That's amazing, isn't it? That's brilliant.
Yes.
And have you had any pushback from people who would like to but don't have a Facebook account? Have you had any feedback on that?
We haven't, but then again, you know, those people who you're not enabling to access are not going to so easily have that voice heard, but we haven't had that feedback. What we have done is with Zoom is you can have the dial-in number. So if we do it via Zoom to Facebook, you can also give out the dial-in number so people can ring up, put in the meeting ID number, put in the password, and then they can listen in to the service on the phone.
Yeah. We had, when we did the Maundy Thursday service for the diocese, we made use of that, and it was great to be able to do it. I think we were looking at about 4 or 5% of attendees were through phone in.
Yes, we've had about 4 or 5 who have been able to do that.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's good to have the option. So what other things have you tried? What hasn't worked?
I think one of the things that we've had to do alongside many others is sort of upgrade things as we've gone along. So we started with the phone and the Holster thing that works most of the time. If the broadband's down or if you're in a church that hasn't got great Wi-Fi, that can be tricky. So we then upgraded to what we call the LiveStream box. This is the LiveStream box. In here, we have a 30-meter Ethernet cable, if we can plug in to the Ethernet. We've got a Dell laptop that has Facebook and Zoom on it.
So you would bypass the mobile if you didn't get any Wi-Fi or mobile signal?
Yeah, we've upgraded now to use the laptop plugged in. And then a tripod, and then we've got a dedicated, so this is a Logitech Stream Cam that we went for with that particular cable, which if you've got it is useful, but you may not do, but there are a whole load of Logitech stream cameras. And this is a microphone. This is a blue microphone. This is about 50 quid. This was about 130, but you can get cheaper ones that are good. And for the laptop, we've got, this is from Amazon Basics. This is just a USB port into an Ethernet cable. So that just allows us to have a lead going into broadband if you've got that in the church.
Oh, was that because your laptop didn't have a network port?
It didn't have a network port.
So
a lot of the
USB converter.
A lot of the thinner ones these days don't have them.
Yeah, okay.
And that just means that there's a lot more stability to what we're offering week by week. So we pass this around, and we've had that, and we're continuing to use that across the churches going forward. So we've got people coming to the services, but we're also broadcasting it.
Brilliant, thank you. So you're moving away from mobile, are you? Would that be fair to say? Because the laptop and the cabling it in is more reliable. Would you say that?
More reliable and better quality, more stable. Right. And the other thing we sometimes use, particularly when I'm feeling vain, are lights. This is a light unit. It's on a little tripod. It's LCD stuff, but cameras need lights, and we sometimes forget that, and some of our churches don't have a lot of it going on. So that can be a useful thing, but it's an added extra.
Yeah. So people can go as kind of high tech as they like, working through it, starting from scratch. So you'd say the first step for those who just haven't done any live streaming, the first step would be mobile, use the Facebook app, and begin with that. And then, so have you tried...
a microphone and a tripod.
Yeah.
One of the big decisions that we made is to go with live worship. So I think for those who are using multi-instrumentalists, that is much more difficult. But we were using one person with an organ or a piano for the music and singing, and we went with live. And I found live easier. I mean, you run the risk that things won't go quite according to plan, but recording and editing is a lot of work and takes a lot of time, and that's worth bearing in mind.
Excellent. I think that's a very good point. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Nick. What I really like about your approach is that you've stuck with one channel, if you like, rather than trying to solve everything at once, rather than trying to tick every box.
Yeah.
You've stuck with one thing, and you've worked your way up as you've naturally learned as you've gone along. And you've now got into more sophisticated stuff and more sophisticated kit. But I think that's a symptom of an approach that is a learning one, and that you started in the place that you could. And I think that's really good.
Yeah. And we were able to apply to Cheltenham Borough Resilience Fund for a grant so we got all of that kit for free. So we applied for, I think it was around £1,000 worth of kit. And we've got that as a church resource that we were able to get with that funding.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really, really good to know. Cool, thank you. I don't have any more questions, so thanks for your time. Thanks.
That's okay.
Chris, how do you do it?
So we've been using Zoom for a lot of our online collaborative kind of meetings and Sunday church services. We're using YouTube just directly off people's laptops for daily prayer that a range of people from around the benefice are leading.
So do you live stream from YouTube directly from the browser?
Yeah, so for YouTube we just delegate accounts out to different members of the church so that we can allow them to live stream into the church YouTube account. So kind of all our branding and consistency and all the services go into the same playlists, so everyone knows where to find them. And then people just log in through the browser onto the church account, and then can start live stream, from a fairly standard laptop with a webcam attached to it.
That's interesting. Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No, it's all good. And then kind of where I'm doing a lot of work at the moment is around how we open up services. So we've had a wedding in church recently. We've got very excitingly, Richard is being I forget the words. This is really bad.
Licensed ordained.
Ordained, yes, on Sunday.
Yeah.
So he's going to have his first communion service, but again, we would normally have hundreds of people come to that, and we're limited to 30, so we're going to live stream that. So we were fortunate enough to access some COVID funding from the district council, and we've bought some of these little live stream cameras. So these are Mevo Start cameras, which are really handy for our situation where we've got two churches that don't have internet connections. So in that case, they just have an SD card in the back. You just power them on, and then I can set these up so I can just hand them to whoever's doing the service, give them a tripod or a stand, one button press on the back, starts recording, one button press, stop, and then that can just come back to me to be uploaded. So where we haven't got any internet connection, we've got two churches that don't even have phone signals, so live streaming is really not an option there. But also they can output through a technology called NDI, which was a new thing to me. But it basically streams the video from the camera over a network, so we can plug them in to a little router in our church that's got internet, and then you can bring all the feeds together in something like OBS, Open Broadcast Studio, which is an open source live streaming video editing type package that's available on Windows and Mac and Linux. And then you can basically alternate between the different views. So we might have one that's kind of a broad shot of church. So for the wedding, that was really great. Get some of the congregation in, get the bride and groom, the vicar. But then maybe one that's a closer up shot of perhaps the lectern, where people are going to read from or where the sermon's going to be. They've got really great mics built into the top, so the audio is fantastic, but we sometimes take a feed straight out the sound system as well to mix in. And then OBS makes it really easy to kind of switch between the two cameras. If you've got kind of graphics you want to play into the live stream as well, perhaps you've got a PowerPoint running at the same time that you want to offer out, you can kind of mix all that together. And then we just stream that out to our YouTube channel. So for the wedding, we just did a private unlisted link that we shared with family and friends. And then services, we just allow that to stream out onto our YouTube page.
So, I mean, you've got probably, of the people that I'm talking to, you've probably got one of the more technical solutions. You've gone for 3 cameras. How much do they cost each?
So these, so the cameras themselves are about £400.
Wow.
So not cheap, but
yeah.
You know,
so it's fair to say you've invested in the time and the tech.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And without the grant, I think it would be fair to say that we wouldn't have gone down this route.
Yeah.
But we were keen to kind of explore the options and you know, act as a bit of a pilot site for what organizations locally might be able to achieve.
If you were to simplify your system and have just one camera, would you still stick with Mevo?
I think so, because of the way I can set it up and just I can just take my phone to church. I don't have to take a laptop, and I can configure it. So as well as if you've got internet in your church, you can configure it so that it's one button push to stream to YouTube or Vimeo or that kind of thing. So actually you can, you know, if you've got non-technical people leading services and you can't get a technical person to each service to do the live streaming bit, you could just send someone along and say, hold the button down, wait till the lights come on, press the button again, light on the front goes red, that's streaming to the Facebook account, that kind of thing. So
That's
I
cool.
think from an ease of use point of view, that's good. And they've got an update coming later this year, which will allow you to do multi-camera setup with a mobile phone. You won't need a laptop. So you'll be able to register multiple Mevo cameras to one smartphone. And then you can, like, just on the smartphone display, pick and choose which camera angles you want.
And how would that feed to YouTube though?
So that would then
Is that dealt with by the app?
Yeah, so you would need your phone's, either your phone data connection, which I suspect might be a little bit limited. You'd probably have to stream at quite a low resolution, or connect your phone. So the cameras connect to the phone via Bluetooth, and then the phone connects to the Wi-Fi, and then it streams out through your Wi-Fi straight from the app.
So is Mevo, but as we said, the YouTube app won't allow you to stream unless you've got 1,000 subscribers. So what are you streaming? What app are you using on the mobile?
Oh, so it's the Mevo app on the mobile, sorry.
Oh, so that can publish to YouTube?
Yeah, so the Mevo app lets you record to the SD card, and no matter which platform you're streaming to, you can also record a backup copy to the SD card. So like I led a service in church the other week, and the live stream failed, but it's still recorded on the SD, so we just uploaded it after. But that will let you pick YouTube, Facebook Live, Periscope, you know, all Vimeo, all of those kind of things. So
you just plug it together. It asks for permissions, right?
Yeah, so you just,
when you
like, if you select YouTube, it just asks to kind of log in through your YouTube account.
Cool.
You know, gives it.
And is there a monthly fee for the Mevo system? And how do you spell Mevo as well?
Mevo is MEVO.
Yeah.
No monthly fees, which was another thing that was quite attractive to us.
Yeah.
But it's single destination. So you mentioned using Restream.
Yeah.
So you could use it to stream to Restream and then out to several platforms.
Yeah.
But as default, without the paid plan, it will only stream to one service at a time.
Okay.
Which for us is fine.
Yeah.
YouTube's working well. But if you do want that split, you would either need Restream, or you could pay for the Mevo Vimeo live streaming plan.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's quite expensive.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Chris. It's been really helpful. I like the way that you've kind of taken your own. I quite like the way everyone's doing it a very different way. But I think I've learned a lot from how you have solved it, and will continue to solve it as it changes and as the technology changes.
Yeah, I think it's always really good to have conversations like this and just see what other people are doing and ideas that you know, I can pinch and think.
Yeah. and we all learn and we all improve.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks for your time. I'm going to stop the recording there.